Hi, this is Dina for Splitcoaststampers. In this video, I have a time-saving tip for working with stencils in water. This can be done with different kinds of paper, but I'm using shipping tags today so I can restock the thank you tags I tuck in with my Etsy orders. I'm going to do some ink blending on each one of the tags, and I'm using Distress Oxide ink here, but any water reactive ink will work for this technique. So if you have distress inks, dye inks, even some chalk inks, all of those are water reactive and they will work well. I love how inks blend on these coated shipping tags. They go on and blend together so easily. If you don't have shipping tags, there are other papers that you can use. I tried this technique on Neenah cardstock, on Bristol smooth paper, and also on hot press watercolor paper, and had good results with all of those, which I'll show you at the end of the video. I'm doing all these tags the same, but you could absolutely vary your inking, use different colored inks, and you can definitely do more than 2 or 3 tags or backgrounds at a time. I'm going to lay my stencil down over the first tag and mist with water, and I want a pretty even coverage with the water because I'm doing 2 things here. I want the water to go through the pattern of the stencil onto the tag and react with the ink, but I also want to create a layer of water on the stencil that I can use on the next tag. So I'll mist an even layer over the entire tag, and then I'm going to carefully lift the stencil up and flip it over with the water side down onto the next tag that I've inked. And when I have that in place, I will blot to lift away the reacted ink from the first tag. And I like to use the full paper towel roll. Just roll it over the surface so I don't accidentally wipe the water away and lose my pattern. So the water from the stencil has reacted with the ink on the second tag. And there is sometimes a little bit of ink and water left over on the stencil to do a third tag. So I'm going to try that out and blot my second tag to lift the water away. And there you can see I've got a reverse image from the first tag. And then we'll see what happens with the third tag there. So there was a little bit of water left on there, so it's a lighter pattern for a different look. So that's an option after you finish the second tag, and actually nothing stops you from remisting the stencil with water to do a water print, or from misting through the stencil again like we did on the first tag. I thought there might be enough water and ink left on the stencil to print on a blank tag, and there wasn't quite enough, but it was worth a try. So here's a second batch of tags with a different stencil, and I did actually over mist the water a little bit here, and that's not a bad thing. It gave me more of a distressed look on my first tag because some of the water did seep underneath the edges of the stencil, but it did give me a very wet stencil that gave a very clear impression on my second tag. So there you can see the results on that first tag. The image is a little fuzzy, but that's kind of a neat distressed look if you want that. So you can play around with the amounts of water that you use and the amount of misting that you do to see what look works best for your project. Here again, I thought maybe I'd try for a third print. There is a bit of ink on the stencil lifted from the second tag. It's not quite enough to really make a recognizable pattern, but it's something there. So if you want to try to go for a third print with your stencil, do that and see what happens. In the end, it's all just paper, and tags are very inexpensive, so it's okay to just experiment and have fun and not worry about the results. So this is a quick and easy warm-up if you're just getting going, or if you need to kickstart your mojo. In just a few minutes, I've got a whole stack of tags that I can use. I did try some other papers, and here are those. Each one has kind of a different result, so don't be afraid to experiment with what you have and figure out what works best for you. Thank you so much for watching.